Yesterday, you no doubt were as delighted as I was when you saw the news that 9 Insulate Britain protesters had been jailed for between 3 and 6 months. That's, of course, for breaching those rules and laws about basically staging protests on the M25, and they were in contempt of court, sent to jail immediately. I think pretty much all of them spending Christmas behind bars. I think whoops of joy across the country, but probably not for my next guest. Tim Gough is a spokesman for Insulate Britain and joins us now. Good morning to you, Tim.
Hello, Julia. Hi, you're right. I wasn't very happy.
You weren't very happy. I mean, I don't know why anyone wouldn't be very happy. I mean, this is what you expected. I mean, if you're going to go around your organisation stopping ordinary law-abiding citizens going about their business, ambulances getting to hospital, people doing their jobs, this is the punishment. Broke the law. They've compared themselves with the suffragettes and Martin Luther King rather laughably. Broke the law. This is the punishment. They have to take it on the chin, don't they?
Well, I think they are taking it on the chin, Julia. I think you're right. I do think the comparison with the suffragettes is fair, though. We are looking here at very, very serious issues to do, not only with this country and the death of people, every 8,000 to 40,000 people, depending on who you believe, dying every year.
No, 1 million. Let's just, if we're making up numbers, 1 million people every year.
Sorry, Julia, I didn't catch that, sorry.
I said if we're making up numbers, let's go with 1 million people every year.
Well, the millions or the tens of millions or the hundreds of millions are to do with what's going to happen in the world, what's coming down the line in terms of the climate emergency, Julia. I'm not sure if you're believing that.
Well, I don't believe there's a climate emergency, no, and I definitely don't think tens of millions of people are going to die as a result of climate change, because, as we know, in the last 100 years, deaths from climate-related disasters have gone down by 99%.
Well, we're reading the science, Julia. The scientists are telling us
in
louder terms that we're running out of time.
Okay, sorry, no, Tim.
That's what they're telling us, Julia.
Tim, I've just quoted actual real life statistics of the here and now. In the last 100 years, deaths from climate disasters, whether it's tornadoes, droughts, anything like that, have gone down by 99%. What does that tell you?
Julie, sorry, I'm not disagreeing with you on that. What we're saying is that figure is going to go stratospheric over the next 30 years.
Why would it? When we know perfectly well that man's ingenuity and innovation were able to actually tackle these issues. But look, let's leave the side.
That's exactly what we're saying, Julie. We want man's ingenuity to insulate the houses of Britain and save people's lives and save the future.
I think a lot of people are perfectly in favour of having insulation on people's homes. They think that's a good idea. A lot of people would like to be able to afford it, and people may or may not think the government should tax people to pay for it. But that's a very different matter from Insulate Britain activists taking it into their own hands and very dangerously stopping off on a motorway, getting out. I mean, that's causing a disruption itself, and then gluing yourselves to the road, stopping people going about their law-abiding business. What on earth has it got to do with ordinary motorists trying to get about their lives to encourage the government to blackmail the government into paying more to insulate people's homes? Why did you have to do that?
Because the government are not taking any concrete action in any way in relation to climate change or the issue of people dying in their homes every winter.
People die in their homes because they haven't got enough money to heat their homes, because energy is so expensive. That's why they die in their homes. They don't die because of a lack of insulation.
Yeah, but Julia, basic physics tells us that if we stick some insulation in there, they won't have to pay anything for their fuel.
Hold on a minute. So when you've got an insulated home, your gas bill is free. Oh, hooray. No one told us that. What a load of complete nonsense.
No, it's not, Julia. Look, I'm an architect. I know what I'm talking about. Okay, you've still got to pay for your hot water, of course. Terms of heating, in terms of your heating, a modern insulated house doesn't require any heating.
Tim, I hate to tell you, we have millions of homes in this country. I don't think anyone's plan is to not...
Million.
Millions. I don't think anyone's plan involves knocking down all of our old homes and then building new, perfectly brilliantly insulated ones in the next few years so that pensioners don't die of cold in their homes during the winter. What would make more sense, surely, would be to make sure that we have affordable, reliable, secure energy. And in the future, we would love that to all be renewables. Innovation may be coming up with some new, much more reliable fuel, nuclear fusion, fission, whatever it is this week. But fundamentally, we're not going to be able to rely on solar and wind 100% of the time, or indeed a lot of the time, and we're going to have to continue with fossil fuels or nuclear power for the foreseeable future, so that people can afford to heat their homes.
Precisely not. We're not saying knock down houses. We're saying insulate the existing houses. We don't want to knock down houses.
How are you going to insulate everyone's houses? I live in a building that's in a conservation area. We're not even allowed to put double glazing on, for goodness sake.
Julia, you're right. It's a really, really tough call. We admit it's a tough call. It would cost probably £1 trillion.
Oh well.
But we're in a
let me just get that out of my back pocket for you, Tim. Oh yeah, there you go.
You do that, Julia. You do that.
But you think it's laughable. You want to tax hard-working people who don't have time to go sit on roads stopping other people go to work because they're not living on their parents' trust funds, and you want to tax them to do this.
Julia, it's not necessarily a question of taxing working people.
Where's it coming from?
Let me give you an example. We have spent over the last 10 or so years approximately that amount of money, £1 trillion nearly, on quantitative easing. Now that has resulted in the wealthy in this country, their assets inflating in value. What good is that? What social good has that done? Why don't we spend a similar amount of money in improving the assets of ordinary people in this country?
We've almost bankrupted the country by doing that. I mean, can I just come back to the issue of comparing yourselves to the suffragettes and and Martin Luther King? As a woman, I am unbelievably outraged by the idea that you're a bunch of ragtag activists can compare yourselves to women who did not have the vote, who had been fighting for years to get the vote in peaceful ways, and then took the matters into their own hands to get the right to have a say and have this country run. How dare you compare yourselves to the suffragettes when all you're doing is gluing yourselves to the road to get into bit publicity, to try and get people to have insulated homes? How dare you compare those things?
Oh, because we have read the science, Julia, and we understand the utter seriousness of the situation that we are now in. So David King has said we cannot afford to put any more...
What's that got to do with my question?
...carbon into the atmosphere.
What's that got to do with my question?
We've got 3 to 5 years to sort out this
issue.
And
then we're all going to die. Not much point insulating
Not in 5 years'
there.
time, but Julia... by the middle of the 2030s, by 2040, there's going to be some very, very serious things happening that is going to affect vast numbers of people across the world, and also people in this country.
And when there aren't, come back and talk to me about it. We'll have to leave it there because time is against us. But I just think it's absolutely laughable. It really is. I am so delighted that 9 of your members are going to be behind bars for Christmas and not going to be bothering other people on their roads. Tim Gough, spokesman for Insulate Britain. Let's talk about somebody who is on the show to actually promote something sensible and useful that will actually save lives. And we, of course, all remember the absolutely shocking scenes when Fabrice